It's Luke Howard live at lunchtime. Thank you very much. Thank you. Woo! Woo, woo, woo. Thank you. Oh, that's all right. Keep cheering. That's it. Woo, 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 woo. Woo, woo, woo. Thank you very much for the wonderful, fantastic round of applause. Thank you very much. Woo, yeah, I'll do that again. Woo, 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 woo. God blimey, O'Reilly, the audience are full of themselves today. Hello, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. Afternoon. Welcome to Britain's brightest, best radio show. It's Thursday, the 21st of January, and it's great to have your company this lunchtime. Sit back, relax, make yourselves lunch. Enjoy Britain's best radio show live Monday to Friday from 12:30 to 1:15. And yes, it's all recorded, but it comes out live at 12:30. So sit back and relax and get in touch if you'd like to. It's GaryJHoward68@hotmail.com. That's the email to contact, or you can also contact the other email, which is 345-457@student.hrc.ac.uk, or you can find me on Instagram. It's the Luke Howard fan page, or you can use hashtag Luke Howard Live, or hashtag Luke Howard Live at lunchtime. It'd be great to hear from you. It really, really would. Evan Upcraft got in touch with the show the other day to say that it's Luke. Luke, can I have a mention on your show? And I said, of course. A mention now to Evan Upcraft from Baldock in Hertfordshire. So a very good afternoon to him, and I hope he enjoys Britain's best radio show this very day. Okay, so that's how you can get in touch with the show. It'd be lovely to hear from you. On the show today, we're going to be talking about the weather that's been hitting us for the last couple of days. We have to talk about Storm Christoph, which has been going all across the country. So we're going to be talking about floods. We're going to be talking about snow. Ooh! We're also going to be talking about schools, when are they going to be open again, and we're also going to be talking about national days as well, because today is a very special day, as always, as every single day is. It's Get to Know Your Customers Day today, so we're going to talk a little bit about that, and Granola Bar Day as well, so we're going to talk all about that later on in the show. I basically just said, okay, let's talk about it now. So that is Get to Know Your Customers Day, which is today. It's also Granola Day, it's Hugging Day, but you can't hug anybody, of course, and it's also Squirrel Apprenticeship Day, which sounds very weird, but Granola Bar Day is today, and you also get to know your customers day, but you can't really do that, and you can't really have Hugging Day, because you can't hug anybody at all. So, I mean, I find it hard to kiss my very own mother. My mum won't even let me kiss her. So, it's very, very hard, really, to do that, to be honest with you, to even do a Hugging Day, a national Hugging Day, because no one can hug anybody, to be honest with you. So, I mean, I can't hug anybody either, so, do you know what I mean? I can't even hug my nan and granddad. I go to hug them, and then they step away from me. So I don't think we can even do Hugging Day at this very moment. I don't even think we can do it at all. I know it's pathetic if you ask me, but we can't even do a Hugging Day. So unfortunately, we can't do that at all. So we can't do that. We can do a Granola Bar Day, because I actually have granola for my breakfast, but I didn't this morning. I actually had. This is going to make you laugh. Eggs and soldiers. I had eggs and soldiers for breakfast this morning, so that was very, very nice. But it's nice to have a change. Keep having granola all the time. So instead, I had boiled eggs and soldiers. It was, oh my god. It was amazing. It was so nice. Really, really good. And Get to Know Your Customers Day is also today. If you are an essential shop and you are open and you do have customers coming in, and that's what it is today. Get to know your customers' day. So you get to know them, your regulars, whether they're regulars, people who just come in and buy stuff. I mean, I know lots of people. I know loads of people, not even by going in to buy stuff. I just chat to them for hours and hours and hours. Everyone knows that I don't stop talking. I don't shut up. And I'm sure people are thinking, oh, we all know that, Luke. We all know that. We all know that. Oh, God. Yeah, okay, so. I must say, either today, tomorrow or Saturday, one of those 3 days, we've got my best mate Michael coming on the show, Michael Walker. We'll let you know about that. So, yeah. Right, let's get down to the business now. In the news. News time now, because we are talking news now. We're getting very serious, because we are talking Storm Christoph now, which is the evacuations and floods and snows. It's been really, really bad, people. The weather has been atrocious. We're not talking about Joe Biden on this very show, because I don't really want to talk about Joe Biden, so we are going to talk about the weather instead on the show, because the weather has been absolutely awful across many parts of the UK. Now, the people have had to be evacuated, okay, in northern England and all across England and Wales. Wales as well, of course, caused by Storm Christoph. 2,000 homes in the Disbury and northern areas of Manchester. Manchester, really? And the Riverland and Bergen-on-Dee, North Wales, and of course Monkhole, Merseyside, have all been affected by that very bad flood. There are more than 200 flood warnings in place. 5 of them have been severe, and weather alerts are also for rain and snow. People have been told COVID will let them leave their homes in an emergency. Boris Johnson, he said in the government, is totally prepared for dual crisis on flooding and the pandemic, and that COVID-secure facilities will be available for any people forced to evacuate as a result of the weather. Now, heavy rainfall had already seen major incidents and flood alerts declared across England and Wales. Amber and yellow weather warnings are in force until this morning, or the morning just gone, and for the storm, which is also threatening to bring up to 11.8 inch, 30 centimetres of snow in northern areas. Many rivers are at dangerously high levels. The Environment Agency has said that George Estice told the House of Commons that the government was preparing for further impacts, and we never actually knew that it was actually preparing for that. But the rainfalls works is its way through the river system, and with more unsettled weather, which is also going to be expected next week. Oh my God, it's going to get even worse next week, even worse. But they also said that water levels in the Denbury area have begun to decay. Now, pumps and sandbags had to be brought in to protect supplies of the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine being held in a warehouse in Wrexham, which is in North East Wales, which has threatened by a lot of floods. Now, there's pictures I'm seeing here of people which were seen flooded through water in North Wales. There's someone chucking stuff in water in Disbury, Manchester. There's snow in East Disbury, and a resident of Disbury Federal Estuary told a news programme that his family has been told to evacuate. But during Corona, where do you evacuate to, though? Where the hell are you going to evacuate to during COVID? There's nowhere there is nowhere at all to evacuate around here, around where they are. Nowhere at all. Hotels are shut, B&Bs are shut, it's all shut. So where the hell are they going to go and evacuate up to? It's impossible. Where are they going to evacuate to? There is nowhere to evacuate at all. Nowhere to evacuate. So they can't evacuate to, I don't know, a hotel in North Lancashire or something like that. They can't do that. They can't evacuate anywhere because of COVID. There's COVID in the air, people. There's COVID in the air. There is COVID in the air. COVID is in the air. But, which is why they can't evacuate. They cannot evacuate because of COVID. But Nelson Vasquez, 37, he said he could not leave his home in Disbury with his 2 small children because he has no family nearby. He said, we spent all night moving things to the 2nd floor and trying to keep the kids safe. He also said that Lee Williams of the Environment Agency said that flood banks on the river Mersey at Disbury had protected properties in the area overnight. I mean, I'm not being funny, but there is nowhere they can evacuate to. Nowhere at all. So I don't know why they're going to evacuate them, because they can't evacuate anywhere. But the top of the river came with sentries of the top of the riverbank. But the forces there have severed their purpose and kept those properties dry. But it was very close. It was really, really close. Now, severe flood warnings, meaning that there is a risk to life, have been issued by the Environment Agency for the River Mersey, which is at the east and west Disbury. I think the River Mersey also runs through Liverpool as well. But the northern is south of Manchester city centre, as well as the River Bollen at Hartley and Little Bollingdon. Natural Resources Wales have issued a severe warning to the River Dee at the Bagna-on-Dee, Wrexham. There are also more than 190 flood warnings, meaning that flooding is expected across the UK in 33 in Wales, and an amber warning for snow in South East Scotland has also been issued with up to 30 centimetres, 12 inches of snow, even 12 inches of snow. This time of year is a very cold time of the year, but I didn't actually think it was cold when I was standing outside this morning in my short sleeve top and joggers and normal shoes and a fleece. So I didn't really feel like I was really cold when I was standing outside the studio this morning, having a moment and a cup of tea. I had a cup of tea this morning standing outside, and I didn't really feel, I didn't even feel cold. So I don't know why they say it's freezing cold this time of the year, because it's not even freezing cold. I'm baking hot. I'm sitting in a toasty, baking warm studio, sweating my nuts and bolts off. So I don't know what people are thinking it's cold this time of the year. So if you think it's cold this time of the year, I don't think so, because I'm sitting in a warm studio and I go outside and I'm still baking hot. So there you go. I've just said it all there, really. I've just said it all, to be honest with you. I've just said it all, really. You know, I'm sitting in a toasty warm studio baking baking me nuts and bolts off, and I'm outside and I'm still baking hot. So I don't really know what's going on there. They're saying it's really cold this time of the year. But the Cleveland police, they've warned of delays and disruption in the Radcliffe area after the weather forced road closures. There was also multiple crashes due to the ice conditions on the M5. This is near Bristol, including a 5-car pile up and an overturned lorry. Now, after some residents in the Mackhole area of Sefton in Merseyside were also advised to leave their properties. Now, Sefton Council, they said, though, that rain overnight had not been as heavy as predicted. The Environment Agency also said that levels of the river they were expected to remain high and flooding, which is still possible on Thursday. That gone. Now, the sea, though, because it was very dark and it was very cold, it was very wet. The main road this is Little Bollington, people, Little Bollington. It led onto the River Bollen, and it sitted alongside with the National Trust Durham Massey, which I know very well. It essentially became a river with a water packing. It's about 2 feet, 2 foot, and it was high, and it was severe red flood warnings in that very place. And I never actually knew that. Residents were also asked in the early hours to evacuate because there was a danger to life, and the same happened just upstream in the village of Hartley as well. Some people have been evacuated and have had nowhere else to go because of the COVID restrictions, and the Northern East in South Manchester. People entirely brought refuge of the Restaurant Forum, where they were welcomed with biscuits, cakes and a brews. Lovely. And teas. Oh, lovely. I wish I was there. I love my tea and biscuits. I love it. Wish I was having tea, cakes and biscuits. Lucky them. I want my tea, cakes and biscuits now. So where's my tea, cakes and biscuits then? When are you going to bring me some? I tell you what, send me some down in the post. Send me some down in the post, please. Send me some down in the post. Oh, no, they can't do that. But I'm sorry, they didn't invite me, so where's my tea, cakes and biscuits then? I love my teas, cakes and biscuits. I hope you're all sitting back right now and having tea, cakes and biscuits. Where's mine? They haven't even brought mine down yet. I want my tea and biscuits. Right, I'm getting in touch with them this afternoon. I want my tea and biscuits. That is not fair. That is not fair for them to have tea and biscuits and not me. Where's my tea and biscuits then? Huh? Anyway, many had come from... I'm joking. Yeah, but I do like my tea and biscuits, you know. Many had come from sheltered housing and were elderly and more vulnerable. And it was also, in many cases, it was confused by what was happening. Thankfully, they have since been transferred to hotels. Oh, good. They've finally been transferred to hotels. But they can't put them in hotels, though, because of COVID. It is very, very odd. Very odd. They can put evacuees in hotels, but they can't let the public go stay in hotels. Oh, that is very, very odd. Very, very strange. But I think that's a very good idea that they've actually put them in hotels. Very good idea. But I'm surprised that hotels are shut at the moment. That they could even have got them in hotels. But anyway, the Greater Manchester Combined Authority said it has believed river levels had now peaked in the area, which is fantastic news for residents. Now, in the early hours of this morning, North Wales Police began evacuating residents of Bangor-on-Dee from their properties. People sheltered, though, for a short time in a church hall. Oh, good. A church hall's much better than being in a hotel at the moment, because hotels are shut, so you can't go in there. And some were now they were staying with relatives, while others had been found accommodation by the local authority. Wrexham Council has said that early yesterday morning, the force was called to help some residents in Rutherford who were being told to leave their homes, but they warned resources were being stretched by people who did not live locally, driving to witness the floods. Now, there are more pictures of floods. There is floods everywhere, people, so be very careful wherever you travel to. Now, Boris Johnson was speaking the other day after a meeting of the government's Emergency Committee, COBRA, on Wednesday. Boris Johnson urged people not to stay in their homes if they were told to evacuate. He said, if you are told to leave your home, then you should do so. People might think this is a minor issue at the moment, he said, but still very minor by signs of provisional floods, but never a measure at the suffering or the misery that floods can cause people. Now, let's listen to the good old man with the long hair speaking. Here he is speaking the other day.
Well, people may think that this is just a minor issue at the moment, and indeed it's still relatively minor by the standards of previous floods, but you should never underestimate the suffering, the misery that floods can cause people, the real psychological shock of having a home flooded. And so we want to make sure that we're totally prepared in every part of the UK for flooding, just because, as you say, it's coming on top of the stress people are already under fighting COVID, making sure that they observe the rules, obeying the lockdown. People's levels of stress are quite high already. We want to make sure that we prepare for floods as well. So today